Hello, Sonder family. Happy Memorial Day weekend. I'm really proud of you for showing up these long weekends and Saturday, and like the weather is kind of straightening itself up and it's hard to break away from being outside. I'm really glad that you're here. Yeah, I asked if you would drop what you're loving in the chat. I thought it'd be fun to start with that. And thank you to anyone who, during Memorial Day weekend, we love getting excited about that third 3 day weekend. And it's kind of the unofficial start to summertime. But I also know and want to just bring forth a great deal of thanks for anyone who may have lost a loved one in the line of duty. And so we do honor those folks who gave the ultimate sacrifice, and want to make sure that we stop for a moment and remember that part of the long weekend. So, anyway, welcome. Make sure your chat is set to everyone. I'll be your on screen facilitator, and Bailey and I are reunited. We worked together Thursday night for a social, a journaling social. So, we're excited that we're back together again. Bailey will be hanging out in the chat and answering questions along the way. So anyhow, I love the things that I'm seeing that you're loving, just books, being outside, loving your library, some spring cleaning. Bailey and I both cleaned our bathrooms today. Well, most of the bathrooms. Both of us have a couple of pending things, that we were talking about what we were doing. I know lots of you said you've been in your garden. And so yeah. So those my little flowers, they're my zinnias that are, it is flower season right now. So that's what I am loving, and I am sharing from my garden to you. So yeah, let's get going with our setup. Here are the community guidelines. We share this every time that we're together because we do create really nice, safe spaces. And also want to make sure that we shout out to anybody who might be at a social for the first time. If this is your first time, go ahead and drop me so we can give you a welcome. You will notice that this community loves to gather. You can see all the hellos to one another in the chat. We always love to hang out with each other and support one another on our Silk and Sonder journey. And so this evening is all about that. Do want to point out any inquiries you have about your journal subscription or ideas for socials or any other questions that we might not be able to answer in the chat. You can send those to hello@silkandsonder.com. That is our fabulous headquarter customer care, and they'll be able to help you out. We are going to be finishing up this theme of integrity. It has really been a deeper theme. I'm very excited about a new month. I think next month, the month of June, with the theme of flow, is going to add a little whimsy to our life. We've been working hard this first half of the year through the themes, our integrity theme, but also alignment and our beliefs. And so we're going to have a little lighter treatment, I think, in June. But I love how integrity sort of has taken this first half of the year kind of and wrapped it all up. As we did explore, how we're aligned in our life, where our beliefs fell, those kinds of things. So, I had been sharing this little quote through my setups and stuff. Yes, and June starts on a Monday. We love when a journal starts on a Monday. Integrity is live your life as though your every act were to become a universal law. And for me, that kind of, integrity is what you do when no one is watching, right? Yeah. So I want to encourage you right now to share your journal setup in Sonder Club after you're finished, or even maybe this past week's journal pages. Let us see what they look like, completed or not so completed, and share that with your Sonder family and Sonder Club. And it's really helpful for us because we love to get those ideas to share among our social time with you. We have our integrity mind map tonight that we will complete. It is on integrity next week. Since the weekend is that transition from May to June, we're going to have a bonus prompt for you. So next week will be a bonus mind map prompt. If you are here for the first time, it's this is that prompt you get when you come to a weekly setup. Remember, this is being recorded, so you can always go back and grab a recording of a weekly setup if you were unable to attend one live and grab that mind map question. We'll do our rosebud thorn reflection for the week, and we will then dive into those weekly setup pages. So here's that weekly mind map. We suggested finding a blank space in your journal. If you are here for the first time, you can just do this in on another piece of paper. You don't have to play catch up. You can just grab on to week number four's question. They kind of stand alone. Um, yeah, and I thought May went by pretty quickly considering it's a long month. So there's all four questions for the month of integrity. If you needed to grab a screenshot of that, so that you can see all four questions. The first week we did like, where do we betray or honor our relationship with ourselves? And then we took it the next week into how we showed up in our relationships with others. Last week we worked on ambition and work, whether that work is volunteering, the work in your home, outside of your home. We looked at how we worked and if what we were building reflected who we are. And this week, habits and lifestyle. And this is taking a look at our daily choices and discipline. And the question is, do my daily actions reflect the person I say I want to become? And so some of y'all might have been with Bailey and me a couple of nights ago as we dug into one of the journal prompts over this. Now, I have a couple of great quotes that I thought would help kind of spur our thought about today's mind map question. The outcome of each choice you make depends on what you choose to do every single day. So, if you want to build up your walking and walk a mile every day, it might just be that you do something simple on that one day. We can't just, I'm going to talk a little bit about my health journey and envisioning a 90-year-old me and what I need to do to get there. So that's kind of that daily attitude. James Clear, who is the father of our habits, how we can have good incorporated habits in our life. He wrote Atomic Habits. He says the seed of every habit is a single tiny decision. And I love that because we're all talking about gardens right now. I put in little zinnia seeds, and they grew into these big plants. But as that decision is repeated, a habit sprouts and grows stronger. Roots entrench themselves and branches grow. The task of breaking a bad habit is like uprooting a powerful oak within us. And so if you've been struggling, just keep that in mind. If an oak starts off as a little acorn and then it can be big and powerful and very hard to take down, and it would be labor intensive. So give yourself grace as you are starting to maybe replace habits that no longer serve you. So this we're today again, do my daily actions reflect the person I say I want to become? And so on page 15 was that journal prompt that we worked on in the week, and we looked at the integrity gap map. And it was really, we explored the idea of who we are currently and who we want to be, and then that gap, that thing that's in between the two things happening. So if you worked on that activity already, that may really inspire how you consider this week's mind map questions or question. I laugh because there's a restaurant in Austin, Texas called El Arroyo, and they always have these funny marquees out front. And this is exactly speaking to this. I always set two alarms, one for the person I want to be and one for the person I am, right? And so that kind of encapsulates this idea of our daily actions reflecting who we say we want to be. So I actually, I'm going to give you a tip. Here's how I handled it this week. I took a moment, I thumbed back through my journal, and I looked at my trackers. Oh, and that says goals. It should say goals. Sorry about that. Your to-do list, or even look at your phone calendar for the last 3 weeks and look at what do you notice? What is the data showing you? And for me, I wrote the answer to this question as of late, no. My habits, my choices have not reflected the person that I say I want to become. I've have lots of evidence that life has been sidetracked. Setting goals, and I wrote, but, setting goals, but not meeting them. I scribbled out, but I'm not going to negate it. I just put setting goals and not meeting them, or having to dedicate time to other things that seem to be taking priority. Taking time for this reflection has shown me I haven't been driving the car. I haven't been the driver, right? Life has been driving me. Then I had to flip over to another page. I am reminding myself that I'm doing the best I can. Many of you know I lost my brother a couple months ago. I'm in the process of that whole POA process for my mom, getting a lot of messes cleaned up. There was some fun, and it's kind of taken it's driving my life. So I said, I have 1 week left in May. I'll spend it reflecting on the things I have gotten done. They weren't necessarily the goals, the to dos, the habits, but I'm going to celebrate those, make my to do list. And then I'm going to go into June with intentional focus and commitment. I'm going to give myself some really big grace for May, but really tackle June with a better attitude to take care of my physical and emotional health first. And I'm going to find my flow, which is the theme for June, because I want to be that strong, vital, healthy 90-year-old one day. And that's what I want to be, but it's not reflected in who I am today. So that's kind of where I went with this. A lot of chatting it up. So I am first going to I'm gonna fix this typo because it's making me crazy to see it. There, I can't break up with perfection. And yeah, I think I stopped sharing. Didn't mean to do that. Am I sharing? I guess I'm sharing. Okay, and we're going to take a few moments to do our reflection on this one. Let me know what comes up for you as you are examining your habits and lifestyle styles. And if you see things in your journal, share that. Let us know what you're noticing through all those great plans we had for this month. Thanks for diving into this week's question. I think, that when we when we do that, we're always going to find some area in our life that maybe isn't aligned with what we want to be, or, how we want to be, and then who we really are, what we're really doing. We're not perfect people, but we certainly are on a road of trying to be the best version of ourselves that we can be. So give yourself lots of grace. Like I said, when I look at this question by flipping through and realizing there's a lot of blank spaces this month and last month and the end of March. But I have to be gentle with myself and let it go. But also having an awareness that, like I said, I'm not driving the car. I like to drive the car. I like to be in charge. And so I can, just be intentional with all of it and understand that blank spaces are part, you've heard me say it a million times, they're part of your story too. And so that tracker is blank, or, it's peppered with some good days, but yet it doesn't reflect on who I am. It means that my energies have been somewhere else. And that's just what had to happen. And we're all going to have seasons um, of like that come in our lives. So I just kind of wanted to share that with y'all, and keep sharing in the chat as you're finishing up this reflection, because I again, it's really nice to be with each other and like-minded people. And in a year from now, maybe I'll sit with a reflection similar to this and go, you know what? I am nailing life right now. I hope so. But I also have the realization that I don't know what a year from now will look like. So we just, as they say in AA, a day at a time. All righty. So thanks for looking at this reflection with me. And if you need more time, you know, keep it going. So now let's take a look at what this past week brought you through, the activity we call a rosebud thorn reflection. And the thorns are those things that were really tough, that might have been stressful or challenging, or you didn't have control over it. It was out of what you could do. All you could do was check your attitude with what was going on. And maybe there's an area you need more support on. Bailey, Bailey and I were talking about, like, why are we always the one to clean the bathroom? Maybe that should be my thorn. Um, but my thorn this week is just I put papers everywhere. Just not a lot of free time lately. The bud is what we're looking forward to. It could be this coming week. It could be tomorrow. It could be toward the end of the year. What do you have that is just giving you a little spark of joy? Something to look forward to. Maybe there's some motivation. For me, this week coming up is the birthday week for my babies who are in their 30s. But my son's birthday's the 28th, my daughter's birthday's the 29th, and I always just love being able to look back and remember those days when they were born. And so it's just, I'm looking forward to this week and celebrating. And then the rose, what is something you're grateful for or that's positive in your life? How can you celebrate something from the week? What did you do that you deserve a big pat on the back? That's good. And for me, this is sad because my little grandson was so sick, the youngest, and he had a terribly high fever for several days. We were getting really worried, and he's fine now. It was just an adenovirus, bad cold or something. I mean, his fever was like 100, over 104. But my rose was, I got to take care of him. So, Mama was trying to shut down her school week. Dad's got junk going on at work, and I got to just love on that boy. He slept right here a lot, and that was my rose. I needed that. I'm gonna put on a little bit of music while you do your reflection. We want to hear, what are we celebrating together, and then also where can we support one another virtually by dropping those thorns in the chat. Thank you for taking time with this reflection. I might encourage you just to take a colored pencil or a marker or something and maybe draw around the box for your bud. And then on days that maybe feel a little tough or situations that come your way, you can flip quickly and find that bud, that thing that you're looking forward to kind of add a little balance to life. Thank you all for sharing. Christine, we're going to all be thinking about you on Friday as you celebrate your middle child's wedding day. And I know that while your husband won't be there, he'll be within all the love that's going to be shared. We'll be thinking about you on Friday. That's a very bittersweet time. So thank you for allowing us to help carry that with you, and just know that your little your Sonder community will be supporting you from afar in the universe, as well as all these other things that y'all are going through. We will just be supporting one another. If you haven't had time to share where you need more support, feel free to drop that in the chat at any time during our gathering this evening. So, the last week of May, here we go. Here we are. We're going to turn to pages 52 and 53 and say goodbye to the month of May with our setup. I've got a couple of pages to share with you. You know, I always like to say, do show and tell. And just, I love seeing how everybody sets their journals up differently. The one on the left is going to ace the week with abundant, confident, effective ACE. And authentic, calm, and energized. I love that. Their to-do list is a bingo just to make it fun. Mind, body, soul is how she is setting up her goals for the week. And then I love the habit tracker down there because look, instead of stressing about adding more things to track, or she just says, use your monthly tracker. And so pointing herself back to that monthly tracker, there's that visual there. And then just some fun stickers because stickers want to be stuck. So I loved that. Whereas the one on the right, you can see that, they've written their habit and activities in, but look at the goals. They've actually set the days that they wanted that particular thing to happen, and that's where the goal is written. So I thought that was kind of a neat thing. They have marked off Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. These all are for the end of the week. So I loved that. I thought that was kind of a fun thing. I've never seen that in the goal space before. Lots of words for how they want to feel, the three goals, and then got a little to-do list going. So again, I just like to share the things that catch my eye. Now, thinking about our mind map question this week, let's start with how we want to feel. And I love this. The unspoken rule of motivation is act your way into the feeling that you want. So if you're feeling a certain way, it's not don't feel and then act, it's act and then feel. So, it's kind of that old fake it till you make it frame of mind. So we're going to manifest what we want for this week. We've got lots of words here. Thank you, Robin. I was just going to invite Andrea. You've already dropped it in. Thank you, ladies. Drop your word in the chat because that might inspire somebody else searching for how they want to be. I think I just want to feel present and again do that May reflection. And then when I hit the month of June, I want to feel back on track. So I'll be changing that up. But for now, I just want to be present, kind of honor my journey this month. So, oh, Phyllis has surgery Friday. Okay, oral surgery. Ooh, so she wants to feel grounded, well balanced. And yeah, let's try to feel no anxiety. We'll be thinking about you, Phyllis. I'm seeing inspired, peaceful. Yeah, keep dropping those in because they might work for you. Does anybody kind of go to their word of the year for this space? That's a really good feeling thing to put there where you can support your word of the year or maybe using a theme from, one of our previous journals this month. I love the word aligned. That's always a good one. Maybe feel integrity. All righty, so we're going to take that. Oh, I've got some more words here. I forgot I threw this one in. So this is the bottom half of a feelings wheel. The top half has the tough, the not so fun feelings. These are the little more nicer feelings. So maybe some of these will inspire. Maybe somebody needs to feel serene or optimistic or joyful, powerful, valuable, important, courageous. So many good positive words. Okay, let's see. Probably smart. Nikki, that's funny. Did you mean smart? Or were you trying to do smart? I love that. And Phyllis is saying her word of the year is empower. And so maybe that would work for the week. So yeah, let's take that word now into how we set up our goals for the week. Again, we might want to focus on this theme of integrity, especially how, who we are and then who we want to be. Can we set some goals around that? Go take a look at the intentions you set. Take another look at that habit tracker, those things that we looked at to kind of, do this week's mind map. Maybe you set up categories. I've got some. I pulled all of these because they were all kind of blues and I thought they were pretty. So you can see these are all different words and how folks have set up their goal space. One, two, three major goals, or you could do some little mini trackers within your goals section, like the example you see on the right. And then we can repurpose this space. So perhaps a bingo board is calling to where your goals go. You don't have to have three. You could have several little things, like if your goal is to vacuum, maybe you do kind of a to-do mindset with your goals, or you reuse this space for something like a routine or rhythm to your day if you're seeking that. And then we'll also take a look at our to-dos because oftentimes our goals will inform our to-dos and people set these up very differently. If one of your goals might be to clean, you create a cleaning bingo like the one you see at the bottom left there. We've got several of these the other ones are all broken up into different to-do list. So we've got a now to-do list and a later to-do list. We'll go across the top. There's a work to-do list, a home to-do list, an every week to-do list with a this week to-do list. We've also got the morning and evening kind of ritual to life there in the bottom middle. And then there's a school to-do list and a personal to-do list. So again, dividing that up to work in your life. Now, I've brought up this idea of the Kanban um, tool to use. This is actually originated in Toyota's production system. So this came, from corporate America. But someone, and if you're here, thank you for posting how you took your Kanban list and used it in your journal. You can see she's torn very small. Yeah, there is a website. You're right, Marinan. That it is you basically take your to-dos and then as you're doing them, you move them from the to-do into the kind of in process slot. And then when you're done, you move it over into the done space. This is also great for your fridge. Like if there's family things, get some post-it notes, put a poster on your fridge and let folks as they take responsibilities, perfect world, move those post-it notes over as things happen. But I loved that someone just took this and kind of made a little mini Kanban in her journal. So perhaps this is something that could speak to you. We've shared lots of other tools before, like the Eisenhower matrix or using the Pomodoro method, but I wanted to share that Kanban with you tonight. Also, the idea of a not to do list. What do you need to not do, so that you can, again, be that version of self that you aspire to? And then, we put a lot of pressure on ourselves to get it done, and so this graphic really spoke to me because I do feel like I have fallen behind, not driving the car. And this is just a different way to say I did nothing today, to maybe reframe that. Find a little compassion for self. And maybe this shows up in your journal and you're writing this in your habits and activities or in your to-do list or using it for your goals. Maybe taking a mental health day or just saying, I caught up on life or I took time off, like writing that in and giving yourself that permission, being gentle with yourself. Instead of saying, I did nothing today, you could say, I took a vacation from normalcy. I love that. I chose to rest. I unplugged. Can you imagine what your habits and activities could look like if they're all framed out with these types of statements? So I think this could be a really powerful way to be gentle to self. Let me put on a little music. I'll go back through all of these. Oh, Michelle, good for you. She's taking a day on Friday. Anyway, I'm gonna put on some music. I'll go back through these slides, grab screenshots if something speaks to you, and then let us know if you're trying something in here or what you're going to be putting in your goal for your goals and your to-dos. All righty, now let's take a few moments to very quickly drop down to those habits and activities that we need to do for the week we want to have. And I am drawing attention again to that mind map question that we had about, do your daily actions reflect the person you want to be, the one you say you want to become? And so go think about, what did you write to? in your reflection tonight? And can something show up in how you frame out this habit and activity section this week? So we've got some examples here to share. I wanted to show this one with the two circles there. One of the goals for this person was build systems, and then down in the habit tracker, it is dedicated, that tracker for the week is dedicated to just her evening systems. That was something that was important to her. And so she has done it by, she's written out a timeline of how things are going to happen. And she has this evening routine, this evening system that she's going to use. And then we've got the idea of the 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, that upper middle one. And notice how um, so many of the activities here are tied into the Silk and Sonder journey. So, doing those Silk and Sonder check-ins, doing the journaling, they want to do that 3 times. They want to listen to 2 Silk and Sonder rituals this week, and they're going to do one check-in with their Silk and Sonder coach. And so I love that. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 little bit, not do every day. They didn't want to do a ritual every day. So they're dedicating 2 days for that. If they do more, yay, but their minimum requirement was 2. But I love how all of that is tied in to using this journal. Then we've got some fun little stickers for the one over there on the right. And then the one below that at the bottom, notice Saturday and Sunday scribbled out. It's okay to schedule in those days. Remember, it's not, I didn't do anything. It's, I'm taking a break. I choose to rest. And so that's how Saturday and Sunday is framed out on that tracker. And then the days that they want things to happen are circled. I brought back Gloria's use of dose, and that is trying to make sure she's getting those good brain chemicals dumping into her system, the good dopamine, the oxytocin, serotonin, and endorphins. And so she set her habit tracker up to try to spell out the word dose every day. And I just love that reminder of seeking those good things for our brain. So I wanted to bring that back around this week. And then there's some habit tracker ideas. I'll put on a little bit more music while you finish up this page. Let us know what you'll be tracking and what's going on this habit tracker this week, how you're gonna use it. One of the reasons we love these socials is the ideas that get generated. And I love that Heather is already thinking about her June journal and embracing this idea of jumping on to being intentional with those good brain chemicals. And she's like, okay, maybe I can find a tracker so that I can hold myself accountable. And that's the thing, is that we're all on this journey, right? We're not going to be perfect, but we are being intentional with our lives, and we're being intentional together so that we can, again, seek that version that we want to be. So I'm going to now jump over to the second part of our setup. And, these pages, this page gets very, very repurposed. And so what I'll do is I'll go through all the slides, all the examples I have, but you feel free to use the spaces as you see fit. You may want to put your menu plan somewhere else and use the menu plan for something like your daily affirmation, or how you're going to celebrate every day. Maybe do a doodle, use your stickers. You can see Mind Body Health Plan on both of these are very intentional for doing something for self. So let's go take a look at like the meal plan. So here's two ways to do meal plan. We see the meal plan being used as a meal plan, but the Mind Body Health space is repurposed for just like the dinner plans, because that's maybe the main meal of the day. So there, if you're wanting to track your nutrition in any way, that's a really great way to do it. But lots of, again, here's some dinner plans, the way that it's set up, but lots of repurposing as well. And I am loving the little water bottle stickers that this person has found to put in their water drop space. I think those are so cute. And then I was going to share with you, I started last month, this new calendar that's coming out each month, and that you can find on our Silk and Sonder Instagram page or the Facebook page. There's not as much engagement on the Facebook page, but you will find some really good graphics there. So I've just been using this calendar as a little moment of reflection, and I'm writing the questions in on my meal plan. And so as you can see, we're going to be rounding the end of the month here, and so I've just written those in there. And I may or may not journal to the things that are there, but it does give me a pause for reflection every day. And then here's some other, weekly plan, some daily reflections. The one in the middle: watch movie, listen to podcasts, read a book, walk outside. I love those stickers. A reflection on I had fun doing. When do we stop to look for what we had fun doing in the day? Or like Adrian said, a daily glimmer. Mind Body Health Plan can be repurposed. I think I've shared this through the month. I've enjoyed looking at these graphics if you need to take a break. And then some everyday self-care tools. This is great content to put in these spaces. Considering your sleep, consider journaling, drinking enough water, real luxury of life, the real luxuries of life. These are very sweet things that can go any space on this page, or maybe you go and you drop this into your habit tracker and pair it with something that you've already written down. And remember, doing your best looks different every day. So we have some great days and some days that maybe we needed to choose to take a break, have a slow morning. It is Mental Health Awareness Month, and so here are some ideas for making sure that you're putting some good stuff in these journal spaces for your mental health. There's a checklist there. Also, end of the month check in. This could be a little mini journal prompt that you do in one of these spaces as you think about what this month has brought your way. Also, embracing 4 different types of self care through mental, physical, emotional, or spiritual. And then here are some just fun examples of how people have filled their mind body health space. as well as the seven types of rest. And that's also a good one to maybe consider where this could show up in your June journal, like as a intention for getting the good kinds of rest that we need all month. And then the shopping list, of course, can be a shopping list, but lots of repurposing here. Y'all know I went to see my nephew graduate in Indiana, and I made myself a little mini road trip bingo as we went along. And so every state line I got colored it in. So I thought that was kind of fun. I wanted to share that with you. If you're taking a road trip, maybe make your own little bingo. And I didn't see a dog in a car window. I looked. I couldn't believe that, but that was the one thing. And then I didn't really try any new food along the way. I should have put flat tire on on this list because we had a blowout in Arkansas. But I highly recommend a bingo in that space. It's always a bingo for me. And we've had this meaningful May. We're closing that out. Some of the things on this calendar could inspire spaces. You can pick and choose what you want. And a couple of more graphics for you to maybe get some ideas for that. I love the 35 easy 10-minute tasks. Maybe you build your cleaning list by pulling just a few of these off of the graphic. Some positive things to try this week, some digital detox moments, what to clean, what to delete, what to donate, focusing on your health, a different focus area for each day. And then finally, summer's coming, y'all. And so if you're a reader, I thought this could be a fun reading bucket list that you could put into your journal space. Maybe you do it on a separate piece of paper so it can travel with you through June, July, and August. But just that little reading challenge, I always love that. So let me put on music. I'll go back through all of these slides, grab a screenshot if you need to, and again, this is being recorded, so you could go back and grab some of these if they're speaking to you for this week or maybe for the upcoming month. Yes, these definitely go by so quickly. Bailey is going to be sharing the link to the YouTube channel so that you can grab that. If you haven't already bookmarked it, make sure to bookmark that so that you can go and watch any of the 1,200 socials that we have available for you. And let's see, we've got a set up tomorrow morning. And then we've got another one Monday morning. So we've got other opportunities for you if you didn't get everything finished this evening. We are so glad that you joined us. We wish you a wonderful Memorial Day weekend. Again, giving thanks to any of you who may have lost someone who gave the ultimate sacrifice, and grateful that we are able to enjoy a little time off for that reflection, but also for, maybe taking a little bit better care of ourselves through the week. Share your planner in Sonder Club. We'd love to see it, and we will see you soon. Sending you lots of light and love, Sonder family.